Anthony, we're back at it again with the podcast. Here we go. Let's get right into it. We have a decent amount of news.
I guess so. Okay, well, why don't you... You're the news guy, so why don't you start with the news then, my friend?
Okay. First off, I want to say a few things. If you don't know how this works, because you probably do not, I read off the news. Anthony reacts to it as he's in place for Alan, who normally reacts to it. Alan is currently in China. He will be back next week. He gets back the night we normally record the podcast, but we're going to record it live the next day.
All right, that works for me. I just like interrupting you.
And I also want to introduce a new segment into the podcast.
What segment is that?
Specifically just for this podcast. It's called Anthony's Rant.
Shut up.
Anthony always has a problem with at least one piece of news. So you are going to have to save that rant until after the news is over. Just kidding. You're going to interrupt me and do it because I know you are.
I feel offended and hurt.
Oh my god. Okay, let's get right into the news, Anthony.
Okay, let's go.
The new Wolverine movie is going to be rated R.
Good.
It's going to be awesome.
Good.
Thank God.
I still don't want them to do Old Man Logan, but good.
Yeah. Even though they are doing Old Man Logan. But oh well.
I don't know, man. I just... Ugh. Okay.
And it's also begun filming, so...
Well, at least that's good. Honestly, I'm kind of happy this is Hugh Jackman's last thing, because I love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, but I think it's time for a new, fresher perspective on the character.
I think they're going to take him out and bring in X-23, and that's going to be the Wolverine for a while.
God, I hope so. X-23 is bitchin'.
Oh, yeah. Dude, could you imagine, though, a little bit into the future, probably 10, 15 years down the line, we just get an Old Man Logan in one of the mainstream X-Men movies?
That'd be pretty cool, but I don't know. Side note, the one problem with X-23 is that she's canonically Asian. So, Hollywood would probably whitewash her, be like, no famous Asian actresses. And I'd be like, bruh.
Is she? I thought in the comics she was white.
X-23 is, I'm 95% sure she's Asian.
Are you sure you're not talking about Lady Deathstrike?
Lady Deathstrike is Asian, but, I'm talking about X-23, because, I've seen her drawn as Asian, and I'm, 95% sure she's Asian. I mean, feel free to, because,
it's just the new comic that confuses me, because I only look at the cover.
Maybe so, but, I mean, even in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, when she was a character, her theme was very Asian-centric. But, yeah, no, she's Asian, as far as I know.
Okay, cool. So the next piece of news, Civil War made $181.7 million for its domestic box opening weekend.
How much of that was yours, Adam?
Probably 180 million of it. Of my $500.
Wait, what do you mean $500?
Of my $500, the $500 that I have, 181 million of that is part of the box office.
What? Did you just hear what you just said?
Yup, that's right.
Okay.
I know math well.
Yeah. College student, everyone.
Finance major, everyone.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Math is good for me.
I hate you.
Okay. So, Anthony, you know the show Supergirl that was on CBS this year?
I know of it. Why?
Well, it got canceled. But it got picked up by the CW.
But wasn't the CW running it originally?
No, CBS was running it originally.
Oh, okay.
But it was only getting, less than 13 million viewers per episode, half of that at least, at the highest. And for CW, that is not a good number.
You mean CBS?
Yeah, CBS. CW, that's a great number. CBS, that is not a good number.
Well, the other thing is that CW is also probably trying to condense all of their superhero shows onto one network.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good move for them. I'm glad. But 33 different shows were axed today. which was pretty interesting.
Oh,
Speaking
yeah,
of
it
comic
was
book stuff,
insane.
Castle was axed.
Yeah.
With Nathan Fillion.
Well, Castle was pretty much done anyway because the main female lead moved on to do a brand new show.
Yeah, everybody
And
says
Nathan Fillion was signed on to basically just come back if a 9th season was picked up,
Mm-hmm.
and then it wasn't. Agent
Yeah.
Carter was axed as well.
I know.
Hey, you know what? ABC, always be canceling.
God.
That's their nickname.
I like that, actually. I like that a lot. I might actually start using that.
Yeah. It also doesn't help for Supergirl that each episode cost $3 million to make.
Wait, what? Seriously?
Yeah.
That's really expensive.
That was like the average. Because, well, it included the license fee as well.
God, wow. That licensing fee. DC is a monster, man.
Oh, yeah. But CW is half owned by Warner Bros., so there probably will not be a licensing.
Yeah, so that cuts like, what, $2 million out of the budget?
Oh, yeah. It'll be great. Okay. Next piece of news. As soon as I can find it in my show notes. Ah, right. Here we go. Are you ready?
No.
Okay. Ben Affleck is coming on board to be an executive producer
Okay.
for Justice League.
I know that. I mean, it's
Oh.
pretty...
I was just making sure you knew.
I mean, it's pretty cool, because, I mean, Ben Affleck, for all the shit you might give him as an actor, he's a damn good director and producer.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oof, very, very good. So, I'm excited. Honestly, he knows how to make a good movie, even if his acting is very swing and a miss sometimes.
Yeah, I think lately, though, it's been amazing.
Oh my god, Batfleck was incredible. So,
Well, not even that, like, Gone Girl.
Gone Girl
Argo,
was pretty good.
Um,
Argo was...
Argo won Best Picture.
I mean, that doesn't mean it's...
That does mean it's good.
I mean, it's a one interpretation.
But also, there's this new movie that he's starring in called The Accountant, which just dropped a trailer, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago. It was sometime during the end of this week. And my god, this movie looks crazy.
Okay.
And Affleck stars,
Well, I'll check it out at some point.
alongside my future wife, Anna Kendrick.
I mean, does she know?
Yes, she knows.
Well,
Shh.
uh,
Shh, don't tell the listeners.
what?
Don't tell them.
Let's move on!
Okay, we're moving on.
Okay.
So, Kevin Feige talked about Spider-Man coming back to Marvel.
Good.
He basically said that the way that they got him back was,
They beat the shit out of everybody who disagreed with them.
yes, but also they said to Sony, we will make the movie for you, you get all the profits, you get to distribute him, but he stays with us, like, in our universe.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. And, well, Sony also pays for the whole movie. So, it definitely helps out Sony.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're going to pay this amount for this movie, and we're going to make boatloads back? Yes, please.
Especially because it used to be Marvel would get all the merchandising rights, so Sony was just hemorrhaging money whenever they made a Spidey movie.
Well, I still think Marvel gets the merchandising rights.
No, they
Don't
do.
say
They do.
anything.
That never changed. What I'm talking about is
Oh.
even when Sony had the movie rights to Spider-Man, they didn't have the merchandising rights, which always has screwed them.
Mm-hmm. Won't that still screw them now, though?
I mean, I don't know. It really depends on the sort of deal they struck. But that was a huge problem. Was for the Spider-Man movies was that they a lot of superhero and kids movies make up their money through merchandising.
Yeah.
So the
Unless
fact
girls buy the merchandise, then they just stop making it.
yeah, well, I mean I'm not going to even talk about that.
No, because that's a legit problem.
No, I know that's a legit problem, and that's not even something I want to touch right now.
I know, that's why we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah, moving on. The point is that they were basically just like, hey Marvel, here's a couple $1 million every time they made a movie. They're like, wow, that was stupid.
Yeah. Okay. He also said that they picked Tom Holland because they wanted a high school Peter Parker, as in beginning in high school,
Which is good.
like freshman or sophomore year.
Which is, again, good.
Yeah. And I don't know if you heard about this, but when Tom Holland did his audition, in the script it said Spider-Man flips in,
Yeah.
and he said to the directors, "Do you want me to flip in?" And they were like, "I mean, if you want to."
Yeah, and then he flipped
Kind
in.
of something like that. And then he flipped in and did a superhero landing, like Deadpool said he would.
Mm-hmm.
And that basically crushed his audition.
Yeah, I've heard that, which is pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Anthony, so you know that the X-Men franchise has been just a complete mixed bag of goods and bads.
In terms of the comics or the movies?
Well, kind of in terms of both,
Hmm.
but mainly the movies.
Okay.
So, where do you think the X-Men franchise will go after Apocalypse?
Downhill?
Oh, big prediction. I think it's going uphill.
Why?
I think the New Mutants will be its peak after Deadpool 2 and Wolverine 3, and then it's going to crash downhill.
Interesting. I've just never been a fan of the X-Men in general, so yeah.
I like the movies. I don't necessarily really like the comics.
I'm kind of lukewarm on both. Of all the superhero movies I own X-Men, the first one, on VHS, and yeah, and I own Days of Future Past on DVD.
I own X-Men.
You own all of them, don't you?
X2.
Oh, I also own Wolverine Origins, but you know,
Get out.
I
Get out. No, but so I own X-Men the original, both on Blu-ray and on iTunes, because I bought it on iTunes, and then I was in Best Buy one time, and it was like, "Oh, you can get the movies for $7 a piece." I was like, "Yes, please." So I got X-Men the original, I got X2, and I got First Class.
Nice.
Because, really, well, I mean, X1 and 2 were basically both cast out. But First Class is technically still canon. Okay, on to the next piece of news. Wonder Woman has officially wrapped production.
Woo!
Woo woo!
I mean, I'm excited. Wonder
Yeah,
Woman is badass as fuck.
Oh, since I saw Batman vs. Superman, I have just wanted to see more and more of Wonder Woman.
I mean, she was just... Gal Gadot was really well cast. Woo.
Oh, amazingly well cast. She didn't do very much acting, specifically with lines.
I mean, yeah.
But she plays the part amazingly.
I mean, yeah.
Without speaking.
I was kind of disappointed that they just kind of shafted her on those lines. But I don't know, man. That's a whole nother matter. But yeah, no, Gal Gadot, I mean, she looks great too, so I'm excited.
Yeah. Okay, the next piece of news. Anthony, did you know that Andre the Giant has a graphic novel written about him?
I do.
Did you know that it's getting a movie?
I do now.
Okay! So, according to Variety, the graphic novel named Andre the Giant Closer to Heaven is getting a movie adaptation, and that's the only news about it.
Good. I mean, it's probably going to be like motion comic or something.
It says film adaptation, so I don't know if
Well, then it's going to be a biopic.
based on the graphic novel? Oh, yeah, it says biopic right here.
Called it!
I read right past it.
Ha!
Don't judge me!
Hey, Adam, what's it feel like to suck?
Feels pretty fine.
Damn it.
Haha! That's right. Okay, Bryan Singer discussed the possibility of Deadpool appearing alongside the X-Men in an X-Men movie. Specifically in X-Force is the rumor. But Bryan Singer basically started a new rumor saying that he could join the A-Team of mutants. The regular X-Men. I think it would be hilarious to see Deadpool in an X-Men movie.
I mean, they hate him, which is half the reason people want him in there. I
Well,
mean,
it's not even that. It's specifically because in his movie, he just throws out whatever curse words he wants. Where in a regular X-Men movie, since it's PG-13, I think you can only drop 1 or 2 F-bombs.
you can drop one.
You can drop 1 F-bomb, and some sensuality is allowed, which means Vanessa's not allowed to be in that movie. But that means Deadpool would drop an F-bomb just like whenever he felt like it. And then when he would go to drop the next one, it would just beep him out, and he would be like, "What is that? Who's censoring me?" And he would just freak out at the MPAA.
Oh no, I feel like that shouldn't happen because Deadpool would steal the show. I mean, just look at Civil War. Spider-Man stole the show because we love, as a culture, we love wisecracking, smart aleck, badass, funny heroes. And Deadpool, I think, would just be a bad fit because unless they're going for the more serious side of Deadpool, which I think they should really save for the movie, Deadpool would steal the show and be a star stealer, and that's just, I don't want that.
Yeah. Okay, so it's officially been confirmed that the next official X-Men movie in the X-Men franchise is going to be New Mutants. As in the movies that say X-Men, blank, 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 blank.
Good.
So, like, we're still going to get Deadpool 2 and probably Gambit at some point, which I don't know why they're still even wasting the money on that movie. Because nobody wants to see it. Channing Tatum wants to do it, but nobody wants to see it.
I mean, how many times has it changed directors? Like 4?
3 or 4? And I'm pretty sure they don't have a director right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they don't either.
I mean, Channing Tatum directorial debut.
No.
You know you'd still see it.
I mean, probably not. I don't think I'm going to anyway unless my one female friend is like, drags me along.
Okay.
And I have more than one female friend. I'm talking about one in particular.
He's talking about his mom.
Leave her out of this!
Okay, but I believe we discussed that Josh Boone is going to write and direct it. In case you did not know, Anthony, he directed The Fault in Our Stars.
I could not give less of a fuck about that.
Me neither. That's just a relevancy point.
I literally tried to read
I
tried to read The Fault in Our Stars. I could not finish it. That is one of the few books that and you know me, that is for me to not finish a book says a lot.
Yes. That's right. Anyway, he hinted that the movie could go into production sooner rather than later.
Well, that's...
Anthony, in political news, we have... Just kidding, this is a movie podcast.
Adam, if you weren't in Georgia, I would reach over and smack you.
South Carolina there, bud.
Well, clearly I'm not going to school for geography.
Okay. Anthony, did you watch the trailer for Assassin's Creed?
No, because I do not care.
Oh man, this thing looks crazy.
I mean, alright.
And when I say crazy, you've played some of the games.
I mean, I've never played them. I've watched you play, and I read the novels because I'm a freaking idiot. And
That's basically
I
the
like
same
the story.
thing. So, you remember how the Animus is a thing that they have to use to get into the memories?
Yeah, I really kind of hope they just kind of go with the fact that with Ezio, because he was the best part of the series.
They're not going with Ezio. They're doing a completely new time period. It's the Spanish Inquisition.
Okay, I guess that has some possibilities.
But the Animus, it's just a big claw. It picks in the trailer. It picks Michael Fassbender up, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure he has the 2 hidden blades on his wrists, and it picks him up and his eyes glow, and then he becomes the guy in the past. It just doesn't make any sense.
That sounds pretty dumb.
But the action in the past looks crazy epic.
Okay.
And then, as well, they end the trailer with a leap of faith.
Okay.
You remember what that is, right?
I do.
Okay, good.
Well, I'm happy you're excited, but I can't find it in me to care.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Good.
Next piece of news. We're flying through this at a very slow pace.
Okay.
So, Birth Movie's Death reported that instead of... Oh, great, there's a train coming as well. Of course. 2 and 30 minutes.
Moving on.
Moving on. Birth Movies Death reported that we may have already seen the villain for Justice League, sort of. Basically saying that it's going to be Steppenwolf.
I mean, isn't it gonna be Darkseid?
For part 1. Sorry, I thought I mentioned that.
Ooh.
Because part 1, as you know, you've seen Batman vs. Superman.
Mm.
Part 1 is most likely just going to be Batman gathering the members of the Justice League. AKA Episode 1 of Justice League, the animated series.
That's so stupid. Why? It doesn't need to be 2 movies.
I think they might rename it like they're gonna do with Infinity War, Part 1 and Part 2.
Just... There doesn't need to be a build-up to Justice League. Just be like, oh, all the heroes are here, coincidentally. All right, let's fuck this asshole up. That's what happens in the comics, for starters. And in the good reboot by Jeff Johns. Because if they're taking from the original Justice League comic, then they're going to have a guy called the Snapper. You know what his superpower was?
Oh, yeah.
He didn't have one. He
That's
just
right.
snapped a lot.
Haha, they're gonna get him.
I'm not even kidding. Look it up. The Snapper's DC comic.
Yeah, but, you know, in the New 52, and I know this because I'm smart sometimes, Steppenwolf killed Wonder Woman on Earth 2. Just stabbed her right through the chest.
Really?
So, he is pretty powerful. I think it'll be cool. Anyway, on to the next piece of news. Also, that was not Anthony's rant for the podcast.
I'm not going to have one just to irritate you.
He's going to have one.
I'm going to punch you in your face hole.
Just wait, because I'm going to mention news that's going to get him really angry. I don't know what it is yet, though. In fact, I don't know if any of the news will get him angry.
Let's go with it.
Okay. A Booster Gold movie is being rumored to be developed at WB.
Hold on, let me find a fuck to give. Nope, can't find one.
Wow. Anyway, it's reported that Greg Berlanti, who is like the head of DC TV at this point, because he pretty much runs all of the good shows, would be an executive producer or possibly a director on the movie. And according to an interview, coming from an interview on the Fat Man on Batman podcast with Kevin Smith,
Giggity.
Zack Stentz appears to be writing a Booster Gold movie.
Well, good for him. Booster Gold's an interesting guy if he's done properly.
I think he's done better in a group than solo. Or at least with a teammate of some kind.
Yeah, I agree.
Except for his little robot.
He needs something to bounce off of.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons he and Blue Beetle worked so well.
Oh, he's like Hawkeye, where Hawkeye always bounces off of somebody.
Yeah.
Not in the comics, in the movies, I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah. Okay, so Jack Black has been cast in the Jumanji reboot with The Rock, as well as Kevin Hart.
I really have no idea what direction they're taking this movie.
Neither do I, but they said they're going to pay homage to Robin Williams and, like, they're going to try as hard as they can not to ruin his take on the movie.
I mean, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Next piece of news. Anthony, Inhumans is still happening.
Why?
The movie. It's just not going to be part of Phase 3. That's all.
Why is it still happening?
Well, remember, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, we discussed how it had basically been canceled.
Yes.
Well, Kevin Feige said that it's not canceled. It's just not going to be in Phase 3 because when they announced Phase 3, they did not know that they were going to have like 2 to 3 other movies pushed into Phase 3. Like, they have Ant-Man and the Wasp in 2018 and Spider-Man in 2018 that have both been pushed in there.
Mm-hmm.
So, that... You kind of got to give a little leeway there.
Right.
So he said that it's going to happen, it's just not going to happen with Phase 3. I cannot wait to see this movie.
Why?
I don't know when it's going to happen, but I am so excited for it.
I don't really care, quite frankly. I mean, they're doing them in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so I don't know why we need a movie.
Because they're not doing the real Inhumans. They're doing, like, they have Quake, and I'm pretty sure that's about it in terms of Inhumans that are notable from the comics.
Okay.
Like, they don't have any of the,
Medusa?
Yeah, but there's a name for all of them.
Black Bolt?
No, not specific character names. The Royal Family. They don't have any of the Royal Family.
I'm sure they'll get to it.
I doubt it, because it's also rumored that Season 4 is going to be the last season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Why?
Since Always Be Cancelin', as we know them to be, ABC, cancels pretty much whatever they want now. Even though Disney owns them, and Disney could just be like, yeah, well, guess what? You're still gonna make this.
Well,
I think that's how companies work.
I don't... Adam.
I don't know how companies work.
Clearly!
Please help me.
God, no.
Oh, no. Okay. Let's move on. Simon Kinberg said that he still believes there's room for a Fantastic Four sequel. He said that they want to make a new, brighter sequel to Fantastic Four. Yeah. You good? You good?
Let's move on.
Okay.
That was my response to that news. Let's move on.
Okay. Joe Pytka? Don't know if that's how you say his last name, but he directed Space Jam. And he basically told Warner Brothers to not do Space Jam 2 because it's doomed.
We don't need a Space Jam 2!
Yes, we do!
No, we
It's being
don't.
directed by Justin Lin, and it's starring LeBron James.
The original is awful, which is why people like it.
It's amazing.
It's so
What are you talking about?
Bill Murray is the best
It's
part of
better
that
than
movie.
every other movie ever.
Bill Murray is the best part of that movie, and he wasn't even supposed to be in it. They were just like, oh, it's Bill Murray. All right, let's get him. And Bill's like, Bugs Bunny, Ghostbusters, it's all the same thing.
Could you imagine if Bill Murray made a return for Space Jam 2 and he was just playing it up on the court like a beast?
I don't want to.
Old man Murray.
Get out of this podcast.
I can't. This is my podcast.
It's mine now.
Oh no. Oh no. Anthony's taking over. Alright, well, we're going to have to pause the podcast here. Anthony, you're going to have to drive a quick 12 hours so you can come get the news. So you can actually take over the podcast.
It's too much effort. You can have
Alright,
it.
we're moving on then. Let's see what the next piece of news is, Anthony. Paramount released a new clip from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. We showed nobody this clip. AKA, I showed nobody this clip.
Yeah, you didn't.
Watch it all for myself.
I'm not gonna
I'm
lie.
actually excited for this movie.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Every new trailer I see for this movie makes me more excited for it. It looks like it's gonna be a lot more like stupid than the first one, which is awesome because
Oh yeah.
the first one took itself way too seriously. We're Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and we're gritty, and I'm like, you're Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You should be what?
They also are way too tall.
I
Let's
don't
be
know.
honest here.
I don't really care about that. I just want them to tell jokes and say cowabunga. Also, I'm kind of excited that we're getting Krang in a movie finally, because he is like the one major villain that's never been in a movie.
And Bebop and Rocksteady haven't been in a movie.
I know that, which is pretty nice. So Bebop and Rocksteady are going to be in there, which is great. I do like the chemistry between them. Oh, dude, you're trying to bring the Mohawk back. Good for you. I'm like, yeah, okay, you do that.
And in
bro.
the one trailer, when Bebop and Rocksteady get transformed, Bebop turns to Rocksteady and he goes, "Oh, you're a rhino. What am I?" And then he turns and he sees himself in the mirror and he goes, "I'm a little piggy."
I mean, also, Tyler Perry is in this movie, so I don't know
Yeah,
why.
it's Baxter Stockman.
I don't know why he's in the movie.
He's a good actor.
I know, but why is he in the movie?
Who knows? Anyway, the clip showed Stephen Amell's Casey Jones meeting April O'Neil, who's played by the always gorgeous Megan Fox.
Shut up now.
It's true.
Shut up.
I think she's beautiful.
Moving on.
Moving on. It shows Casey Jones saving April O'Neil from the Foot Clan. And that's it. That's all that it shows. It comes out in 3 weeks, though.
Oh, interesting. I might see it. Here's
Yeah,
the thing.
I didn't know it came out that soon.
Yeah, oh yeah. I'm actually kind of surprised. Here's the thing. I really hope Casey Jones and April O'Neil don't hook up again, cause like they don't need to.
I don't think they will.
Good.
I think Michelangelo's a bit jealous. I think he's gonna step right in there.
I mean, that's always been kind of the joke that Michelangelo wants to bone April.
But it's clearly shown in the one trailer where they just show up and
Do you
Mike
guys
goes-
have a thing? Are you guys like a thing?
are you guys a thing or you just friends?
I mean,
Like, oh, it's so gross.
I mean, that's just been kind of a thing. It's one of those things that's way better in an animated cartoon where it's not really hitting home that they're two completely different species.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see them in like a live action film, you're like, you should stop right now. Please.
Yep.
Please.
Okay, next piece of news, Anthony. Sci-Fi has officially ordered a pilot for the show Krypton.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care about Krypton. I really.
Me neither.
Here's the
Do
thing.
you know what it's going to be about, though?
The only thing we need to know about Krypton is that Superman is through Superman.
Do you know what it's going to be about,
I really
though?
don't care.
Superman's grandpappy.
Why? He won't have superpowers.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows why they're doing these ridiculous shows, Anthony. Like Gotham, and Supergirl, and Krypton.
And Crypto the super dog, and the
Hey.
super monkey.
Hey, Crypto the Superdog was a good show.
Crypto the super dog was phenomenal. And
Oh, with Ace the Bat Hound?
yo, Ace the Bat Hound was a baller.
Oh, yeah, and they went to space that one time?
That was a good show.
Yeah, it was. Okay, next piece of news. Anthony, did you know that Kevin Smith directed an episode of The Flash?
I did. I've heard it's phenomenal.
It is phenomenal, but it's also very weird.
Mm.
However, Kevin Smith said that he did not prefer writing the episode of The Flash because what we were able to do with me not writing it, it was, at least for me, substantial and wonderful. Just as a directing exercise. I was so happy with it, he said. So I wouldn't want to write on Flash. I would, though, like to write on Arrow. I would love to jump in for a 1 or 2 episode arc just to bring that onomatopoeia character to life. I think I said that word correctly.
You did, but that's a really odd character description.
No, I mean, like, I don't know if that's the word or not
It's
that I was reading.
it's onomatopoeia
That's what I'm
is a proper word.
I know that. I don't know if that's the word I was reading, though.
Moving.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, well let's move on.
Alright, moving on. He said, "That would be so badass. I created this character in the comics, and then to do a live-action version of it that fit into their universe, fit into the run of their show, that would be exciting to me. That's the one I can get my head around writing. But Flash, whenever they bring me back, I think I prefer someone else doing it."
I mean, that makes sense. It's always weird to have, like, a favorite show, and then all of a sudden you're writing it. You're like,
Oh, I don't want to mess this up.
Yeah, right? It's very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully he does write for Arrow, though, and hopefully it shows the writers of Arrow how to actually write a good show. Because, now, Season 1 and 2 were amazing. Season 2 was too good. Like, there was no way they were going to top Season 2 with Season 3. However, they changed writers, because come Season 3, they had The Flash starting.
Mm.
So they got a new writer for Arrow, and the writers of Seasons 1 and 2 of Arrow went to The Flash. And then The Flash got too good too fast. And then they had Legend of Tomorrow, and the same thing happened again, except the writer who came in to Arrow stayed at Arrow.
Mm.
And he basically panders to all the Tumblr kids.
How?
Making Olicity happen for almost a whole season.
Well then.
Yeah. And pretty much every single episode focused on Olicity. In some way or another.
Glad to hear the personal romantic drama of a superhero is explored like every other fucking movie interpretation.
Yeah, except it was better as a fan dream. It never should have been brought to the screen.
I watched 5 episodes of Arrow and stopped giving a shit. So, I'll take your word for it.
Yes. Okay. Anthony, you've seen Season 1 of The Flash, right?
No.
What? I thought you watched it.
No, I've been too busy playing Uncharted 4.
Oh, no. Well...
You'll see why when you start playing it!
I know that. However, Wentworth Miller, who plays Captain Cold, has basically become a DC TV Universe regular after this season.
Which, I mean, he should be. Captain Cold's a really cool dude.
But as a regular, that means he can be on all 4 shows. Legends of Tomorrow, Flash, Arrow, and now the newly acquired Supergirl.
Well, whatever works.
Yeah, and Greg Berlanti, who's that DC TV ridiculous amazing producer, basically said, because right now Captain Cold's on Legends of Tomorrow, which is a great show. Jeez, I can't get enough of that show. If they just released it in binge format, I would watch all the episodes in one day. It would be bad.
I mean,
but
that's your life already.
No, it's not. only Daredevil. Well, actually, I fell asleep during Daredevil.
What?
Look, I was watching it on my computer monitor on my Xbox, and I was like, man, I'm enjoying this. But I don't really like having to stretch my legs out all the way to my bed to be able to watch and sit comfortably. So I'm gonna lay down and get a little comfy under my covers. And 5 minutes later, I was out. Had a nice sleep though.
Glad to hear
Slept like a baby. Anyway, Greg Berlanti said in an interview with Deadline, "We always knew that he wouldn't be a permanent member of the Wave Rider. We always knew we loved him on the show and all the shows, Flash as well. What it really emulates to us is the comic book characters themselves, where they're really a cast of characters. Wentworth Miller won't be a part of the team of legends on board the Wave Rider next year, which for some reason got renewed, even though in the beginning of the season their mission was, we have to kill Vandal Savage, and that was the only mission. So I wonder what it's going to be next season. I have a prediction for that, but we will get to that in a minute. He said he will have a very active role on the show, Legends of Tomorrow. His is the first contract not applicable to just one show. In success, we hope to continue with other characters finding their way across all the shows. And this basically emulates the comics.
Yeah, so should be interesting at least. I mean, DC is the one that's like has a monopoly on good TV shows.
Yeah, well, good network TV shows.
That's fair.
Okay. So, my prediction for Season 2 of Legends of Tomorrow, I'm just going to shoot out a spoiler alert here for the last 2 episodes in case anybody has not seen them and wants to see them.
Notice I'm not raising my hand.
I know, it's for the listeners. Also, I could not see if you're raising your hand. Anyway, not in this past episode that came out this week, but in the episode before, the Time Masters came out and said they were working with Vandal Savage the whole time. I know, ridiculous, right?
Also, can we just talk about the name Time Masters? The hell kind of name is that?
That's the name of the group that allows time travel and trains captains of time travel ships. Like Captain Rip Hunter.
It's still stupid.
Completely agreed. But they came out. Rip Hunter brought Vandal Savage to them and basically said, look at this. This technology that he was using was not from that time period. It is at least 100 years advanced. And they said, well, thank you. Now, guards, take this man back to Earth. And Rip Hunter's just like, what? Are you serious?
Kick the shit out of him.
And then they arrested Rip Hunter and all the members of his ship, except for Captain Cold and White Canary, a.k.a. Sarah Lance.
Why?
Because they hid in one of the panels in the ship.
Of course they did.
Just like Han Solo.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, in that episode, they said that the Thanagarians were coming, and if Vandal Savage did not control the Earth, that the entire Earth would be destroyed by the Thanagarians.
Interesting.
And isn't that basically Hawkman and Hawkgirl's people?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's who they're going to be fighting next season.
Interesting.
Which hopefully it stays at 16 episodes because there were no breaks and it just flew by. Okay, on to the next piece of news. Anthony, Michael B. Jordan has been cast in Black Panther.
Good.
Yup, and Lupita Nyong'o is rumored to be cast in Black Panther.
Good.
Yes. And that's all the news. Anthony didn't rant, and I'm sad.
Good. I like it when you're sad. Your tears bring me great joy.
No. They shouldn't bring you great joy. They should not.
Well, they do.
Okay, let's get on to the topic. It is movie tie-in comics, right?
Yes. I decided, so I start. Star Wars comics, sir.
I mean, you were gonna start anyway.
The Star Wars comics kick ass. They really,
Yes, they do.
really do. And they're all officially canon, so it's nice. Because we get to see how Luke learns to use the lightsaber and all that shit. We see how Darth Vader figured out Luke was his son and all that jazz. So, you know, a lot of really cool stuff happening. It's all really phenomenal, honestly.
Oh yeah, have you read most of them?
I just bought Vader Down recently, and I haven't gotten around to reading it because of the previously mentioned Uncharted 4. But I hear it's the best
dude,
part
it's
of it.
so good.
Adam,
Good.
contain yourself.
It's so good.
God damn it. Well, I'm glad you approve. I really like it, honestly. It's adding a lot of interesting depth to the characters. It's kind of fun. The one complaint is really just the complaint that's common with all the prequels. And that is that we know who stays safe. Because, like, in Vader Down, it's like Darth Vader is downed on a planet, and it's like, the back is like, oh my god, will the rebels finally capture Darth Vader, or will they learn to see the power of the dark side? I'm like...
Well, just because
really?
they capture him doesn't mean that he dies.
No, I know, but, like, we know that at the end, you know what I'm saying, though.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I'm just saying, like, that is bad writing.
It's just...
to put that.
I don't know, it's the principle of the matter of the fact that we know that our heroes are intermittently safe, so that removes a large element of the danger.
When you watch it, when you read it, though, you get sucked in and you're like, oh my god, what's going to happen to these characters?
I mean, yeah, you do, but at the same time, you know they're not really in any danger, which is, I mean...
subconsciously, but when you're reading it, you're not thinking about that.
I don't know. That's really my biggest complaint, though. The writing is top-notch, though. I really like seeing Darth Vader be actually evil instead of getting his ass kicked by the rebels all the time.
Oh, yeah. Dude, at one point in the Darth Vader comics series, He's in a battle with stormtroopers, and either rebels or droids are shooting at them.
Oh yeah, and his helmet gets knocked off, and a stormtrooper sees him.
Oh no, I'm not talking about that. At one point, the stormtrooper comes up to him and says, "Darth Vader, sir," or something like this. "What are we supposed to do? They're overpowering us." And Vader just turns on his lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody dies.
Yep.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Not just the enemy troops.
Yeah, I know.
His own troops.
Yeah, I mean, Darth Vader was like a brutal killing machine.
Oh my god, man.
Yeah.
They were just asking a question.
Yeah.
And you slaughtered them.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. I just... Woo! Okay. Another movie tie-in comic that is crazy good is... Wait for it.
No, don't wait for it. We're running out of time.
Wait for it.
Don't wait for it.
Kingsman: The Secret Service.
I have not read it yet.
Oh, it's amazing. It's so good.
I mean, I kind of have a thing against Mark
so
Miller in general
good.
because he's kind of a dick.
What'd you say?
I kind of have this thing against Mark Miller because he seems to think excessive amounts of gore and blood make for a great story. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, pretty much every single one of his stories is super, super gritty to the point of, like, why? And is just like, blood, violence, yeah, brutal. And I'm like, no, come on, man. Like, have some fun with it. Like, Jesus. Like, it just gets extreme sometimes. So I kind of try to avoid, like, and I try to avoid stuff where he has lots of creative control because of that. Like, Kick-Ass was pretty solid. Kick-Ass 2 was just, I hated it.
I forgot he wrote Kick-Ass.
Yeah. Like, okay, so the original Kick-Ass was really solid. You know, the violence made sense. Okay, yeah. Okay, fine. This is my rant. The violence made sense, but like Kick-Ass 2, okay, Kick-Ass 2, I never saw the movie. But in the comic...
It's decent.
Okay. In the comic, Red Mist, aka the motherfucker, hires, like, Mother Russia, which is like this evil Russian woman, and they just go around brutally murdering children and laughing about it, and then he, like, kills Dave, you know, the main character, finds the girl that Dave has a crush on, murders her father in front of her, and then rapes her brutally to the point where she's in the hospital.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's excessive.
That kind of happens in the movie, except she more or less just gets beat up really badly.
Yeah, and like that's all you had to do. Like, in the comic, it's just, it has no pertaining to the ultimate story except for the fact that we know he's evil. An entire issue is dedicated to us seeing that instead of just hearing about it. You know what I mean? And like,
Yeah.
I was reading Kick-Ass 2 by the issues, and I got to that, and I got physically sick. It was disgusting. Quite simply. I couldn't stand it. And that's kind of my problem with Mark Miller, is that he just seems to think excessive violence and brutality is awesome. And like, old man, and like, when he's dealing with like Marvel and DC properties, he's reined in a little because of the audience. So when he has complete creative control, he lets it all go. And it's really kind of upsetting.
Yes.
He was actually the guy who wrote the original Civil War comic, which...
Yeah.
Pretty
which
phenomenal,
really
but there were times when I was just like, this is super try-hard.
Mm-hmm. And Civil War Frontline is also really good.
Frontline was pretty interesting. I mean, don't get me wrong, the stuff he writes is good. It is. He's a really...
I don't think he wrote Frontline, did he?
I don't think so. But, I mean, I'm just like, the stuff Miller writes is good. It's just excessive to the point of, dude, you please stop. Like, do you need to sit down and talk about this? Like...
Have you ever seen an interview with him where he discussed specifically Kick-Ass, Kingsman, and Civil War?
I don't watch interviews.
Okay, so for Kick-Ass, he said after he wrote the first one, when he was writing 2 and 3, he wasn't even thinking about Aaron Taylor Johnson and Chloe Grace Moretz as the characters.
I mean, yeah, probably not. He's the creator.
But you would think, like, after seeing them in a movie, you would kind of think of them as the characters, like, as you're writing. Like, you're thinking, like, oh, this is probably going to get made into another movie.
I mean, it's also entirely possible he didn't see the movie.
true.
So, like, consider that, Mark.
I really doubt that, though.
I mean,
because when he was writing Kingsman, he said that he called up Mark Hamill and asked Mark Hamill if he could use his likeness in the book in case it ever turned into a movie.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Mark Miller's also kind of a prick, so...
Yeah, and then for Civil War, he said it is the hardest comic he's ever had to write.
Yeah.
Because he had to take into account every single other comic that was going into it.
Yeah, then that's kind of just the problem with writing for Marvel in general. But, I mean, he made a valid point.
More writing, like, team-up books and main event and big events.
Yeah, no, that's kind of just the problem in general with writing stuff like that, is because it's so interconnected. You have to be conscious. For like what Joss Whedon said about writing Avengers and Avengers 2 was the single most difficult thing he's ever written. Pardon me. And directed because there was.
They were also
he had so little overall
he's ever directed.
What?
They're also the only two big budget things he's ever directed, I believe.
Yeah, and it's really hit or miss whether you like it or not. But, like, there is so little creative control involved in that sort of thing. So it's interesting to see when storytelling becomes so big that creators actually lose control of themselves. I mean, it's an interesting commentary on the industry, but I don't know. Mark Miller in general is just like, you gotta cherry pick his stories.
Yeah. And then there's your other favorite, Anthony. Frank Miller.
Was good when he first debuted.
Yes. He has gotten bad.
He's
gotten real bad.
He's also super homophobic, so...
Yeah.
I mean, like, his stuff in the 80s is, like, genre-defining, and I love it, even if Dark Knight Rises...
Was Sin City written in the 80s?
Sin City is, like, his magnum opus, depending on who you talk to.
I just don't know when it was written.
I don't care enough to look it up. It was like that was Sin City was like back in his heyday, so it was like mid to late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, and then Sin City 2 was just terrible.
Well, I mean, Sin City 2 was also based off Sin City, if I'm not mistaken. A Dame to Kill For?
Yeah. It was a terrible movie.
I didn't see it, but Frank Miller's stuff when it first came out pushed the boundaries of the comic books and what they could be.
And then the comic books caught up with him, and he's like, there's no more boundaries to push, guys.
Well, I mean, the comic caught up with him, so he tried to do more and be cool and edgy. Okay, he wrote a comic called The Holy Terror, where a dude just goes around slaughtering Muslim people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Frank Miller is
insane.
Is a product of his times. Like that racist grandmother or that racist grandfather who just sits talking about, oh, them damn blacks all day. Like, you want to hate him, but they've been so...
But you can't.
They've been so good to you that you can't, but you still want to be like, you should stop now. You really should. You've imparted me with some great wisdom, but you've done your time in the world. You're no longer relevant. And that's really Frank Miller in a nutshell, is that he's no longer relevant to the industry anymore. Even Dark Knight...
definitely not.
Even Dark Knight 3. He's not writing it. It's
not even written by him.
He's not writing it. Brian Azzarello is.
Yeah, and his name is the first on the page.
Yeah, I mean...
And it's not even his work.
I mean, he had the main idea, even if Strikes Again was absolute shit.
But he is writing The Dark Knight 4.
I don't know why.
Nobody knows why.
I mean, Dark Knight 3 didn't even have to exist. Dark Knight 2 didn't even have to exist.
Dark Knight 3 is way too expensive. I don't know why anybody would waste their money on it.
I mean, to be fair, I hear Dark Knight 3 Master Race is actually really phenomenal. Which wouldn't surprise me, because...
the first issue is like $6 or $7.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
There's no need for that.
I don't know. Brian Azzarello is a good author, though. He wrote his most famous series is called 100 Bullets, which is some really good crime noir shit.
Oh yeah, and Tom Hardy's starring in the 100 Bullets movie.
Why are we getting a 100 Bullets movie? The reason it was good...
Why not?
The reason it was good was because it was stretched out, and we learned this mystery over 13 volumes, which was like 98 issues.
It would be better as a TV series.
Oh, it'd be way better as a TV series. Honestly, I liked 100 Bullets back at the beginning.
Or 9800 Bullets movies.
No.
Because doesn't he use like one bullet per issue?
No, hell no. No, so do you know what 100 Bullets is?
Oh. I know it's about a guy who has 100
Not
bullets.
even close.
And that's about it.
So 100 Bullets is basically, you're down on your luck, you've been wronged in your life, right? Something, you're not in a good place right now, right?
And you've got 100 bullets.
Let me finish. A dude comes up to you, and a really old dude in like a well-pressed tux, and he hands you a briefcase, and he says, in this suitcase is 100 untraceable bullets. If the police find these bullets, they will chuck them aside. Whatever you do with these bullets, you will do for free, no consequences. And and furthermore, inside of this briefcase is also irrefutable proof of the person who has wronged you and where to find them. And yeah, and it started out as just what the people who get these bullets do, and that was awesome. And then it starts getting into this whole global, worldwide conspiracy thing, and like people who secretly run the world. And it was good, but I just stopped caring because it was way more interesting on the personal, individual level.
Okay.
Yeah. Solid series, though. My Temple library had the whole thing. Good series, but I just cared more at the beginning.
Yeah, like you do with most series.
Well, I mean, it's not just that. It's just that I preferred it on the personal level. It didn't lose anything. Okay, it lost that personal touch. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, it stopped being
like when you have a really good comic that you love, and then like it'll change writers or artists.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh.
Yeah, and it's not like it got.
Why'd you go and do that? And it's not like it's bad.
It's just not for you anymore.
It's just it loses that touch that you loved about it.
Exactly, and
like specifically one for me is the new Invincible Iron Man series.
What, did Bendis stop writing it?
No, Bendis still writes it. But remember that first picture of one of the issues that I sent you with Iron Man and Doctor Strange?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Well, it changed artists. And Iron Man now has long hair.
Yeah, I saw that. That was a really jarring shift.
And I was like, why?
Yeah, it was a real jarring shift.
He just had short hair 2 issues ago. It has not been that much time for him to grow that luscious of locks. It shouldn't. What?
Yeah, I don't know.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
That's kind of just the nature of the beast with comic books, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. Unless you're Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo.
Well, no. Even then, Scott Snyder is gone from Batman.
Oh no, I know they're both gone.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I'm saying. Like they stayed on the entire time together.
Yeah, I know. But like they left. They had a creative decision to leave because it was consistently the top selling series.
Well, not even that. Greg Capullo he wanted to go on vacation.
Yeah, I mean.
So Scott Snyder was like, okay, we're gonna stop writing the book then.
Yeah, I mean Scott Snyder also writes American Vampire with Stephen King, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and he's going to write All-Star Batman and Robin.
Yeah, so that should be fun because the All-Star series.
There's been Batman and Superman, but never Batman and Robin.
Yeah, there was All-Star Batman and Robin, originally written by Frank Miller, 12 issues.
What? He said there was never an All-Star Batman and Robin.
There's been an All-Star Batman and Robin. It's going to be All-Star Batman.
No, wait.
Is what he's writing.
That's what he's writing.
All-Star Batman and Robin by Frank Miller was really solid for the first volume, and then he was like, I don't really feel like writing it anymore. But he had a 12-issue contract, so he just kind of shit out 6 more issues.
Yeah. that's basically what happened with the show Vinyl.
Yeah. I mean, Jeff Johns illustrated it, so it still looked phenomenal, but like...
I didn't know that Jeff Johns illustrated stuff.
No, not Jeff Johns. No, I'm sorry. Jim Lee, my bad.
Gotcha.
Jeff Johns
Jim
is
Lee's
the writer.
An amazing artist.
Yeah, my problem is he looks... I don't know. I'm kind of numb to him now because I see him everywhere. Good artist, though.
What do you mean you're numb to him?
I just kind of want to experience different sorts of artwork.
Oh, gotcha. Because he draws so much stuff?
Yeah. It's like, I'm just kind of becoming numb to him overall because I see him everywhere. Like, dude, please, just like, you're a creative head of DC. take a fucking vacation.
Is he really?
I think so. I'm pretty sure him and Jeff Johns like run DC editorial department.
I know Jeff Johns is like I have no idea what the acronym is, but he's like the head of creative.
Yeah, which is why he's only writing Justice League anymore, because he doesn't have fucking time.
And he just probably doesn't care.
I mean, his Aquaman run was great.
Like at this point, he's probably just like, yeah, I make money.
I don't need to do anymore. Woo!
Woohoo! Okay, that is the end of the episode. Anthony,
Yes.
you're still ugly.
Your face is ugly.
Wow, you hurt my feelings real
Good.
Stab right through the heart.
Good. Shot through the heart.
And your too.
Shut up
Blaine.
now. Let's move on.
Okay. That's the end of the episode. You can follow the podcast on Facebook at the Two Idiots Movie Podcast, and you can email in questions if you have any questions for us at Two Idiots Movie. I don't know what the email is, but it will be in the description of the video. Don't worry.
Way to be, Adam. Way to be.
Look, I can't remember if it's Two Idiots Movies Podcast at gmail.com or Two Idiots Movies at gmail.com. I might be able to find it. Give me 1 second. Anthony, hold the viewer's attention.
Hey guys. I'm probably not going to be here for much longer, and so it's going to be going back to a really boring show. So start to demand me coming back, and I can guarantee to make the show much more interesting again. I've known Adam and Alan for, unfortunately, nearly my whole life, so we get along really well.
Okay, well I found it.
There we go.
It's Two Idiots Movies at gmail.com.
That was really
If you have any
difficult, and by that I
questions.
mean not difficult at all. How in the world did you forget that?
I didn't know if podcast was in the email name or not.
Alright, well, I'm signing off.
Yep,
See ya.
that is it. I will see you all in the next episode. Anthony may or may not be there.
Demand
I haven't
me.
decided yet.
Yeah, okay. Goodbye, Adam.
Bye.